If you love movies and movie discussions, you've come to the right place. Who am I, you ask? I am the Wiz, and I'm here to review the 2005 road trip comedy drama Everything is Illuminated, starring Elijah Wood, directed by Liev Schreiber. This movie got very, very, very little marketing when it came out in 2005. I remember when the trailer came out for this around that time. I do not remember much about this being out and about here, and after watching it, I can kind of understand why. What I'm kind of surprised by is that this isn't a much more talked about film, and I think I'll skip everything with that, and we'll just get right into the review. So here is the review of Everything is Illuminated, directed by Liev Schreiber. Basically, the film is about the author of the book, Everything is Illuminated, Jonathan Safran Foer, who is played by Elijah Wood, where he decides to go on a journey to Ukraine to find out more about his grandfather. And he has a picture of his grandfather when he was young, who was saved by a young lady before the Holocaust, essentially. So Jonathan is in the Ukraine to figure out who this person is and what they can find out about his grandfather. There really isn't much more to that than what I just told you, and more happens as the film goes on, but I think it would be better off if I keep that hidden from you guys if you want to give this a shot. Okay, so let's get into my first point for Everything is Illuminated, and my first point is three actors have strange, wonderful chemistry. So this is a road trip movie, basically, and it has three characters played by Elijah Wood, Eugene Hutz, and Boris Leskin. There is an odd chemistry in this movie with the three characters. So the main character is Jonathan, played by Elijah Wood, and then there is Alex, played by Eugene Hutz, who is a rap-obsessed Ukrainian young man. And then his grandfather is played by Boris Leskin. So the chemistry is pretty odd, but actually really well done in this movie. One of the odd things in this road trip movie is that one only speaks American English, one only speaks Ukrainian, and then there's one who is the younger between the three, who speaks Ukrainian and English and translates between the two. You're kind of led to believe that the translator isn't saying everything that is being said, which at times can be kind of frustrating, but it actually kind of works to help flesh out the character of Alex in this movie. I think all three do very good performances. Boris Leskin is very good in this. Eugene Hutz can be annoying at times, but he plays his character really well. And I have to actually give a lot of credit to Elijah Wood in this movie. Elijah Wood plays a character that is very stoic, but very exacting. This is the type of person that you would usually have play a serial killer. Someone who you know is so odd and so exacting, he's going to do something and it's going to hurt. It's going to be really scary. But he plays him very gently in this movie, and I really did like his performance. But Elijah Wood does a great job in this movie and has a great performance in this. The chemistry with these three is so well done too, despite the fact that they all speak different languages and they treat each other very differently throughout the entire film. The bond that they do have, while very subtle, is actually very potent in this movie. And I definitely enjoyed that aspect of the movie, even though it wasn't really a main thing with the film, but it actually worked very well. Second point, visuals are muted yet oddly beautiful. When I saw the trailers and the commercials for this movie, the first thing I thought about was Big Fish. Big Fish was like the first thing I mentioned, because Big Fish is very colorful, exaggerated, uses a lot of spacing to make those types of beautiful imagery. Everything is Illuminated is kind of like that, but with one distinct difference. It's very muted. It's not very bombastic, except for like maybe one area, but it really hits well when it happens. But it's still strangely beautiful in that way. There's a lot of greenery. There's a lot of open space, some rundown buildings, but it is still oddly beautiful to look at. It is very attractive to watch when you're watching, especially when it gets to the grimier areas of the film. It is still very much a very good-looking film. I think Liev Schreiber did a great job setting up scenes in this movie, and it's kind of shocking that he hasn't directed another movie. At least I don't think he has. He might have directed a few episodes of Ray Donovan, and I'm not sure. But I don't think he's directed another movie. Tell me if I'm wrong. Shout me out in the comments, let me know. And the third point, and I think it is the most important point of this film, the tone shift is expertly done. So the film goes from fish out of water, road trip movie, to then something a lot more serious, but I wouldn't say not as brutal as I was expecting with the type of subject matter it has. There was no whiplash when it went from each tone, which I thought was really well done. The blend from the middle of the movie, from going from a comedy of absurdity to then a serious comedy about loss and dealing with past pain, is really well done. And I was actually very surprised that I didn't realize the shift was happening until towards the end of the movie. It was like, oh, wow, wait a minute. This was more of a comedy in the beginning of the movie. Now it's becoming much more serious, and it fits. It fits really well in this movie. Again, another well-done move. Really well done by Liev Schreiber in this movie. I gotta say also, for someone who is not Jewish, I am not Jewish. I am actually atheist. I don't really subscribe to any religion. This movie does a really good job identifying with somebody who has to deal with not only the past trauma of themselves, but of their people in a very subtle but artfully done way. And I really have to say a great job on Liev Schreiber on this. Like, he nailed the feel of the film, the comedic tone, and then when it got serious, he was able to really nail down how to blend itself into that type of film. Again, incredibly good job on this. I am absolutely surprised how good this movie ended up being. Okay, so who do I recommend this for? I recommend this for people if you like odd road trip movies. Yeah, this movie is pretty odd in points. The characters are kind of strange. The way that the film is set up can get odd at times. The way that the characters communicate is very strange as well at times. But it has a subtle feel to it that is still very entertaining and actually pretty charming. If you like road trip films and you want something a little different, I'd say check this out. And I recommend this if you want a serious topic done lightly. So the Holocaust is a big thing in this movie. It's basically the main character is trying to find out what happened to his grandfather around this time when the Holocaust was happening in Ukraine. It is a serious topic, and a lot of movies treat this really seriously. This movie does too, but it's light enough where it's not overly depressing. But it's also not light enough where it's trivializing what's going on. Again, the tone in this film is just so well done. And like, just the way that Schreiber did this in this film was really well done. And I wish he would do more films, because if he could do this, I would like to see him do other films. And who do I not recommend this to? It's just one thing. If you want to understand most of the dialogue, Everything Is Illuminated did one thing really weird that annoyed me at first. When someone is not speaking English, there is no subtitles to tell you what is being said. Towards the end of the film, it pays off because you definitely sense what is going on in the film and what is happening. Performances are so good in the film that you really understand what is going on and what's happening as the film starts to wrap up. But if you want to know exactly what's going on in a scene, there are scenes where it's just Ukrainian people talking and you don't hear anything. You don't get to know anything of what's going on unless you speak Ukrainian. So if you are annoyed by that, then I would say maybe steer clear. But you are missing a pretty good movie. Overall, I recommend Everything Is Illuminated. I was surprised how good this movie was, and I was pleasantly surprised by how good this was. I didn't hear people saying it was a really well done movie, but I gotta say, this was a very good movie. I was really surprised at how good this was. Beautiful visuals. The performances are great. I think I want to give more of a shout out to Eugene Hudson's performance in this movie than Elijah Wood, but Elijah Wood was very good as well. I will say this. I am surprised I don't see Liev Schreiber directing more movies. I understand this didn't make much money, but he is clearly talented with what he did in this movie. Maybe this movie was just a passion project he just had to do, and he did it, and that was it. and then Okay Fine. This rivals Night of the Hunter as a movie that is excellent for a first-time director. I think this was a really good movie. This is really not a Hanukkah movie, I will say that. But I stuck with Jewish-themed films this week, and I'm glad I did because I got to see this movie, and it was really good. I recommend Everything is Illuminated. Check it out on Tubi and on the Roku channel. Very good movie. Highly recommend it. Now, if you want my full review on this movie, you can go to my website at IamTheWiz.com. You'll have my full written review right on the site, along with a link to the video that has this review that you've just listened to. Okay, so for next time, Saturday, me and Kim are reviewing An American Tail, directed by Don Bluth. Tuesday, I am reviewing National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And for Thursday, I'm going to be reviewing White Christmas, directed by Michael Curtiz. Oh my God, Michael Curtiz? Really? The guy who directed Casablanca did this movie? Oh man, I wish I knew that sooner. Now I am incredibly excited to watch this movie, if this is a Michael Curtiz movie. I want to watch some good Christmas movies. Why not? Let's just go for White Christmas. So tune in next time where I review An American Tail, directed by Don Bluth with Kim Shackman. Tuesday, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And Thursday, White Christmas, directed by Michael Curtiz. I am The Wiz, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.